Right, shall we get started? I just felt like it's been a while since I casted the game. Not many people playing nowadays. Just because other priorities are on your mind, real life happens. But I caught a game live, so I just thought, you know what? Let's do it. Why not? It's been a while. Last time I casted something was probably back for CCC. So it's been somewhere around a week and a half to 2 weeks. Don't want to get the old casting skills get too rusty. Although I too myself have been admittedly very busy working on a lot of other projects that aren't casting related. Doesn't mean that I should just outright ditch this. So get a game going, hone the craft, get back into it, things like that. So we are going to have a. This is going to be a diamond level game. I wonder if my overlay works. It does not. That's fine. But I did briefly peek these people's levels. Low diamond, diamond 4 is roughly the average elo here. And speaking of, and there's a hook is coming over. They do get the set, and he gets pulled back by the swing passive. Excellent first blood, a very cheeky kill. Whoever Blitzcrank planning that super long distance ward, and they award themselves his first blood right here. Kindred does get that ward kill, so she does get 1 CS as consolation prize for losing your mid laner. Miller does die. Do we lose any summoner spells? No summoners blown. All 20 summoner spells still intact this game. So really, it's just red team walking away with a very clean, very cheeky first blood. Going to their AP Volibear, who goes back to lane, picks up a second Doran's Ring. That's going to give him a little bit of a laning boost against Mr. Kench Benched, the Cho'Gath, up top. Jungle matchup going to be my favorite champion, Kindred, going up against a green ball. The mid laner is homeless and also dead ones. The classic melee fighting matchup. Melee AD damage, Zed versus Yasuo. Two very different champions, but they face off against mid lane all the damn time. Also, two champions that I don't play. I admittedly do very much suck at playing assassins. So there's very little I want to talk about in that matchup. But bottom lane, we have what is obviously a dual queue, AD and support and AD. Going up against Swain Blitz, which is a very interesting lane matchup. Usually you see Swain support being paired up with a Jhin, which is the most common appearance of a Swain in the bottom lane. But as we just seen in that level 1 invade, you could combo a Blitzhook with a Swain Pole to brutal efficacy, just dragging someone so incredibly far back. There it is, the Never Move, it does land on the Lux, the Power Fist punches her into the sky, and she gets grabbed back! No chance for survival. The Lux support gets taken down, red team up to 2-0, but the top lane AP Volibear, he's getting destroyed by the Cho'Gath, he has to try to back out of there. Cho'Gath no doubt has already found out that this bear is indeed AP, so he might find himself a decently easier time in the top lane. AP Volibear is definitely not known for his laning power or power, just in general. The two junglers still very peaceful so far, and there's a root, but the Blitz was not able to follow up with a hook. The Ezreal will walk out, but so far, red team's bottom lane, they're doing really well for themselves. There's another pull. Oh my god, what was that rocket grab? Oh man, this Ezreal just gets eviscerated. And I must say, blue team's bottom lane duel not having a great time this game. And a lot of this, actually every kill so far by red team have been generated by this bot lane here. I can't imagine this is a combo that you can convince solo queue people to run. So I must say, these two are probably dual. Just pulling off a Swain Blitz. Definitely not a combo you see every single day. There it is, yet again, the hook goes onto the Lux and she gets dragged back. Will she make it out in time? The Blitz is out of mana, but it doesn't matter. Killing Spree goes over to Blitzcrank, but in the river, the Zed will be taken down here, and the Kindred is being left alone. There's two members, very low house power, but the Wind Wall, the blocks an auto attack. Is that gonna make the difference here? It ultimately actually will! Yasuo getting that Conqueror proc. Sufficient healing, but the DOT from the Kindred rep buff will take one back. Blue team just barely evades total disaster and settles with a minor disaster instead. So far ahead now, red team, off a series of really great plays. The only casualty being Yasuo, who by the skin of his teeth barely survived and then didn't. But the curse of Kindred is setting in. You need to get ahead on this champion. If you're behind, you're unable to take marks, and you just doom yourself to one depressing game in your near future. Getting killed off early, no matter by who, is never a good sign, especially coming so close to actually being able to 1v2. And I cannot believe that one arrow being blocked by the wind wall actually made the difference in that team fight. There it is, a hook. It does go down on the Kindred. She's just respawned as she finds herself with nowhere to go. The Warp Prism warps bottom lane, deploys a power field, and warps in an army of Zealots to take her down. There it is. Kindred finds herself in StarCraft going up against Protoss. You cannot escape. In the Warp Prism, he flies himself back to mid. Is there gonna be Immortal drop here against the Zed? No, there will not be. The Zed will hold. It will hold against the double proxy gate. No, double gate proxy robo. Do people still do that build in StarCraft? I haven't played in a while. It is Protoss, so you just assumed everything Protoss does involves a proxy. Oh my gosh! The Cho'Gath! He's 27 CS up, and he just gets killed by a lightning strike by the Volibear. That is almost unforgivable. He certainly underestimated the lightning damage. It is pretty much all of AP Volibear's damage, but he got hit by one too many of those. And now Ezreal, what is he thinking? He blinks in and takes a tower shot and just dies to the Swain. And now that Zac has made his way to bottom lane, he's found himself the easiest gank of all time. But can he extend the arm? No, he cannot. The Lux will walk away. But the Ezreal, he brain farted there for a brief moment. Why did he walk into that tower? And the Blizz, he's just everywhere this game. And blue team is being fully routed. The Warp Prism has found a kill, but the Kindred will take one back on the top lane, killing off the Volibear. Oh, Volibear, he is no longer AP. He's gone back for components of a Triforce, picking up the Phage. The Cho'Gath still unaware he's going armor. That might have been AP Bear for all he knows. And he was getting destroyed in lane. That was a massive CS advantage by the Cho'Gath. But by dying to that solo kill, he essentially threw it all away. And now Kindred is the member on blue team with all of their kills. Everybody else has just been getting smashed. And as a jungler, what can you really do in this situation? From a blue team's perspective, your strongest lane is going to be top, so you have to play around that lane. But is it even possible? The Cho'Gath, he gets clapped on by the lightning bolt, and there's a Volibear ultimate. The ignite goes down. There's so much pain, and he cannot take it. Kench benched, and Cho'Gath going back to take a bath in the fountain. For about 8 more seconds, he does have the feast. He didn't even get the feast proc off before he died. We might as well use it, right? Warp Prism gonna tank a tower shot, going for an aggressive trade. He's actually ahead of the Zed, and there's a Swain. He gets pulled back and he gets rooted, but it doesn't matter. The Kindred will drop Lamb's Respite, but she is fighting two very beefy junglers, and that will not die. The Blitzcrank will take her down. The Swain will be the one to take the credit for that one. Light Binding will try to stay off the events, but the Blitzcrank, he cannot be deterred. He's tanking tower shot. Does he have the mana barrier? Yes, he does. He can tank a few more hits, and the auto attacks from the Swain is enough to finish the job. The tower is hitting people left and right, but just cannot hit someone. Kindred pops the GG, well played. That is one salty GG, well played. That is when you know this game is already over, and the GG well play being called at less than 8 minutes. You can't even early surrender on ARAM with this kind of early GG. And there it is, the Bear. He's got the Phage. He's building up the movement speed. He's hitting the Cho'Gath. Flash traded for Flash, and the Cho'Gath barely escapes. But he can't stay too close to the minion with the Lightning Bolt will kill him. He does realize he gets out in the nick of time. Oh, but the Zac, is this an overextension? Does the Zed find him? Yes, he does. But the Zac already takes the dragon. Will he be out the death mark? It will kill him. It pops the blobs in place. There's no red team members anywhere near. Nobody has teleport. And this is going to be a very, very stranded Slime Man who will be taken down here. The Ezreal finally gets on the board. He trades his life away for a soloed Ocean Drake. When your team is this far ahead, I don't think you need to die. But there it is. Oh, Ripali finds yet another one. Definitely the shining beacon of hope for blue team. But the rest of blue team is getting destroyed by a robot who is just living in 2 lanes at the same time. Ezreal is in the bottom lane. He's shifting in. He wants to find some damage, but this Swain is just not taking any pain. It's a completed Rova against the tier. There is no chance that this Ezreal will ever kill him. Lux, in fact, first item, Boost of Swiftness. Not the item I expected her to buy first. This can't be a diamond bot lane, right? A very interesting choice by it's just the item choice here is baffling to me. I don't understand what the use case for your Boots of Swiftness first will be, especially considering how far behind you are. Light Binding will definitely not connect through 2 minions, and the Swain, he's popping Crow form, the heal goes down for the movement speed, the tendrils go down, and the Ezreal, he cannot dodge the Vision of the Empire, he will be taken down, and the Blitzcrank, he has no reason to go bot, the Swain is winning 1v2, and the Zed is just having a miserable time in mid lane. So many question mark pings, it's gone down in mid lane, he's wondering what the Blitzcrank is still doing here. Really, this is just bot gap. The Swain is just destroying people 2v1. He no longer needs the support. So the support, he can go wherever he wants. And right now he's choosing to make Zed's life living hell. And he's very much succeeded in it. Zed doesn't even have Duskblade done. And there's first tower. It's gone the way of Yasuo. He's got 7 kills. He's got 80 CS. He's got... Oh my god, he got PD. He just finished PD. And there's the Volibear. He's gonna dunk onto the Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath, does he have a feast stack yet? He only has 1, I think. And that's gonna be a very dead Cho'Gath, not being able to contest a Volibear that he's heavily LCS'd. His lane was probably the one that shouldn't have been lost. Like, that is the one lane where, like, what are you doing? How did you... Well, first of all, how did you get solo killed by a bear when he was that far behind to even begin this cascade? And there it is, Blitzcrank. Finally, the over-aggression gets slightly punished. And speaking of over-aggression, the Zac, he's going for a cheeky Herald. But the Zac will get punished by the Zed. He's very salty that they have nearly the same names. But there's the Volibear. He's coming down to clap the stun. Homeless Greg gets put back into the fountain yet again for the 7th time this game. This scoreboard is just depressing to look at. I haven't even talked about the gold lead because, you know, you don't... It doesn't take a genius to know who's ahead in this game. Kindred's still trying, despite dropping the super early GG well played. But I think everybody in this game already knows what direction this game is going to go. And in fact, I'd be very surprised if this game isn't just over in 3 minutes. There it is, the Cho'Gath. He has the feast up now, but can he make a fight happen? The answer is probably not. The Lamb's Respite does arrive, but can they find the chunk in time? The Yasuo, he's dropping low, but the feast is connected during Lamb's Respite. What was he thinking? Yasuo gets that double kill. You just have to wait like an extra second. And you can't even do that. Come on, Cho'Gath. And there's the Zac, no, not the Zac, the Zed. He's just getting beat up by a polar bear that has no business doing this much damage with those items. But so far, everybody on Red Team is feeling it this game. This is as over as you can get. And I must say, it was very enjoyable to watch bot lane from Red Team play this game out. It was actually a pretty brutal combo where if any of your long distance immobilizations land, you can pretty much guarantee a kill. Just with the amount of burst damage you have early, especially against Ezreal Lux, 2 of these squishier people that you can go up against. They don't even have time to shield or to shift away or to protect themselves. Their self-PO just doesn't really work that well. There it is. Oh, but the Blitzcrank, he's gone a little bit too far. Yet again, gonna be taken down here by the Kindred, who finds herself her 5th kill. She must be wondering why her team is so heavy. And, you know, from a spectator's perspective, we know why. It's because this red team bottom lane is just a little bit too good, and the blue team bottom lane is a little bit too trash. There were some very mind-boggling decisions made by the Ezreal, such as shifting into Swain, shifting into Blitzcrank, that kind of stuff. But really, those are just grains in the sand compared to how far they are ahead now, and the Yasuo is just not dying with the Conqueror proc. You'll finally be killed by the support. But blue team, they invested so many bodies into bottom lane, and they only kill the Yasuo. LOL, says the Blitzcrank, and the Volibear asks for 15. Zed says yes, and the Kindred says it's a hard support gap. Volibear wonders if it's top gap though. Kindred says, I don't get why Lux doesn't just roam after seeing Blizz roam and has Ez as their support, but instead opts to get 1v2 bot. Now there are a few reasons why that is true, but like the one thing I would ask instead of whatever Kindred is asking is, why did you first item Swift Boots? Boost of Swiftness is Not the best boost you could buy. I could probably count on one hand the number of champions who will willingly buy that item, and Lux is most certainly not on that list. Mobius would certainly have made more sense if you were ever planning on roaming, but first iteming swiftness when you're so far behind just seems like such a poor investment of your time and money. And the Volibear up top, he wants to make it out. He does make it out, and Kindred's just gonna give up the chase. 14:58, it's like counting down to New Year's. It's New Year's. Is the surrender coming now? Anytime now? Yes, maybe? They did say they were gonna FF15. Is it gonna be the FF15? The Yasuo flashes in, he gets a Lux kill. Lux is still paying out the summoners as if it matters. Really though, they said they were gonna surrender. I'm being lied to. This is NA Open once again, but the Kindred gonna pop her own ultimate, try to stay alive for an extra second, but she gets pulled out of it and killed off. The Zac will pick up yet another kill. Yasuo, he's just living in red team space, and the slingshot flies over a recalling Cho'Gath's head. He doesn't care, he's actually just gonna start channeling recall where he stopped, but the Blitzcrank's gonna stop him. He's just pressing S, he's checked out, he's done with this game. He flashes a thumbs up emote, gonna tank a few minions with his body. But it's been almost a minute now. Where's your surrender vote? Where is your surrender vote? If you don't surrender this game, you're high. Like, I'm all for never giving up, but I'm also not for blind optimism. At some point, you just have to acknowledge that you cannot possibly win. The Kindred is still going to pick up a shutdown onto the Yasuo, but it doesn't matter. You could give away like 10 more shutdowns and still be in a winning position from here. Swain is just running YOLO into blue team space. He's obviously going to be taken down for this. A little bit too overzealous. But I think all 10 players realize by this point the game is over, so now they're just doing whatever they want. This is a lead that cannot possibly be thrown by red team, right? Question mark? I've definitely seen wilder things happen. I've seen games being won when the team has lost an inhibitor at like 11 minutes. It can happen. In fact, I was in that game. We came back. It was the most amazing feeling. But those happen once in the blue moon. And you had to evaluate a lot of things, like do you have the capabilities to make such a comeback? And by evaluating what blue team has picked, you must conclude the answer is no. There are a lot of things you have to look at, and if your draft can favor you to essentially come back, maybe it's worth giving it a shot, but with this team, you cannot come back if you're far behind. Zed will be perpetually useless, Ezreal will never scale up, Cho'Gath is just never gonna get tanky. And yes, the Kindred does have some valuable shutdowns, she does have 2 items done. But it's essentially a lone resistance against an army. I must conclude, even looking at the team comps, it gets worse for blue team as the game goes on. Red team's biggest problem is their lack of siege, but it's not like that matters when your base is already broken wide open. And there's the engage coming down, 2 bodies on the ground instantly. The Ezreal will be taken down next, triple kill. This is what happens when red team decides to try, and they do now try. Try was the loosest interpretation possible. 40-10. Team score. GG, well played. Kindred calls yet again. This is not what I expected to see when I just decided to cast a random live game. I didn't expect such a one-sided stomp. They could be fun to cast. They do admittedly get old pretty fast, but this one was pretty entertaining to watch. Swain Blizz is also the oddball pick that just worked to such a fantastic degree that it's worth looking at. And I think it was really nice watching these two in action. Blue team putting up a last-ditch effort, but there was barely any effort at all. Game over. 18 minutes in. GG.